Slynn's Kitchen. Tonight we are making mushroom steak flautas, which I probably mutilated that word, but I even looked it up in Google and it just didn't help a whole lot. Anyway, so we have the tortillas, we have crispy onions, we have demi-glaze, we have sour cream, which I just threw on the ground. We have steak strips, we have cream cheese, we have garlic salt, and we have shrooms, the kind you can eat, not that you should smoke. So, anyway, let us get this going, shall we? Now, the first thing I have to do is, well, first I had to clean my mushrooms, but first thing that they tell me to do is to cut my mushrooms into 1/4-inch pieces. I'm cutting off the ends because, well, they're kind of nasty. I'm looking to see if I have my favorite knife. That's not it. That's not it, but we'll try this one. Now I'm wondering if I want to try and cut these or if I want to try slicing them. I may try first slicing them and then see how that works. And if that works, then that makes it easier. All right, so the answer to that experiment is no, it tears the mushroom. So we're just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and cut the little puppies. So, fortunately, mushrooms have these nice little stems that you can kind of hold them in one spot with. So you can get your shrooms cut. But I'm not going to bore you with mushroom cutting, so I'll be back. All right, so there are my shrooms. Now next, I am thinly cutting my onions, my green onions, keeping the green separate from the white. So let me get a couple little bowls to put those in. All right, so cut white onion part very thin. Actually, I'm supposed to cut all the parts thin. I'm supposed to cut them at an angle, but I haven't quite mastered the whole cutting a little green onion at an angle. I try, but you know, I end up sliding off of it more times than not. All right, there we go. And now the green part. Yeah. There we go. That part's more green than white. White part, green part. All right, so now it says the next thing I'm supposed to do is make up the onion and sour cream thing. So let us go ahead and do that. I gotta pull this up because my eyes are not wanting to work with me. Take my sour cream, take my green portions, reserve a pinch. Okay, hang on. A pinch of the green. Does that look pinch-worthy to you? You'll have to do. Anyway, so I'm taking my greens, taking my sour cream. If I can get it open without, you know, like, sour cream. Then a half teaspoon of water and a pinch of salt. So I'm going to go ahead and do the pinch of salt. And let's do a bigger pinch. And then a half teaspoon of water. I'll be right back. All right, so mix. Right? And it says set aside, but given the heat that has been today, and the fact that my kitchen is never truly cool, except like, you know, in the wee hours of the morning, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. All right, so now I'm spreading my meat strips out to pat them dry. And this is always such a fun job because, you know, they're just kind of like, ah, we are hanging out here. And you can't always tell what, you know, if you've got just one strip or 3 strips or, you know, how many strips you have. But what I have learned is you have to have a lot of paper towel to do this nonsense. So, you know. Aha! See? That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'll get back to you. All right, so they've all been patted dry, and now I am supposed to coarse chop them. Preferably without coarse chopping me. It's, you know, always an advantage not to cut your own thumb off. What movie was it just recently where the woman, oh, I know what it was. The Color from Outer Space, where a woman cut her own thumb or fingers off and didn't seem to really notice. That was a freaky movie. But then again, just add Nicolas Cage to almost anything and it becomes freaky. So, you know. Just don't introduce him to bees, you know. All right, so I think we've been coarse chopped enough. Does that look coarse enough to you? Anyway, now we're going to move over to the stove. All right, so my pan is over medium-high heat. And now add, hang on. There we go. To add my steak to the pan. Whoa, hello. My steak. It be excited. It's jumping around. So, I'm doing it for 1 minute, even though they said 2 minutes, because I don't want my steak to overcook. I'm still getting the hang of that, as I mentioned before. Then, I will be adding in shrooms, onions, and garlic salt. And then I will be cooking. 3, 2, 1, beep beep. Onions. mushrooms, garlic salt, and until the shrooms get kind of, soft. So I will be back. All right, so here we go, demi-glaze. The cream cheese. It's not really wanting to come out of its little container. And a fourth of a cup of water. Now, bring it to a simmer, they say, and then remove it from the heat. So, simmer. Mainly, I think it's melting the cream cheese, which, again, is not real happy about this. It kind of wants to hold to its own. So I'll be back. All right, so now I take my meat and I'm putting it in the middle of my fajitas, or tortillas, or whatever you want to call them, little guys. And I'm just kind of trying to separate them out. Trying to make it as equal as possible. I'll tell you the truth, I have never made flautas, or however you pronounce it, before. Which is one of the reasons why I chose this menu for this week. Because, hey, look good. And mushrooms here. Shroom. All right. And now I'm going to clean out the pan, so I'll be right back. Now comes the fun part. Now I have to try and wrap my flautas. They say to tuck one side over under the meat and, leave the seam down, which promises to be kind of interesting because my flautas are not exactly going, oh yeah, we want to do this, yay! I have a feeling this is not going to work out quite the way I'm hoping. But there we go, 2 flautas, and I'll be back. Okay, so let's fry some flautas. Seam side down. All right, so 2 minutes, and then we'll turn them over. Let's hope this works. Give the puppies a little bit of a taste. All right. So I'll be back. All right, so now we are down to the ending. So put a little scallion cream on it. As you can see, they got a little dark. I think they didn't give me enough scallion cream, you know? Just saying. And now, the green onions. And my green onions. And what it's supposed to look like, what it does look like. Now let's see what it tastes like. All right, so this one was very good. It really was. It was very good. Anyway, tomorrow we'll probably be having meatballs, and maybe Sunday we will be having grilled steak, like grilled outside. We'll see how that works. Till then, remember, all lives matter. Peace out.